Hi everyone, Sunstrider here, and after my last video discussing one of Honkai Star Rail's best 4-star healers, today I'd like to talk about Yanqing and the value that he brings to your early game as Trailblazer. Few hours after the game was released, I tried my luck on this game and was surprised to see myself getting him. I have little to no information on him because I didn't watch any tier list before or even after the game was released. So today's video will be purely based on my hands-on experience in using him to clear the game contents. As the Han unit, we all know that Yanqing's job is to deal damage to the enemy. In practice, he's a good unit that is easy to raise before you reach Chapter 1 Final Conflict. On top of that, considering most enemies in this chapter are prone to ice element, then you can just bench your Mark 7 and try to rearrange your overall team composition that revolves or synergize with him. His skill and ultimate is a single target one where there's a chance for you to freeze the enemy after Yanqing uses his burst. After you unlock Cavern of Corrosion and are able to farm his best relics, the Hunter of Glacial Forest, you'll be able to build him as a one-shooter with his burst.
We don't do that.
The next thing about his overall kit that is worth mentioning is his talent that can do a follow-up attack with damage equal to 50% of his attack. There's two problems regarding this talent as far as I've used him. One, the probability of this talent that's too low, and two, as a DPS, he's not going to stack effect rate that directly translates to the 65% freeze chance will not do anything. As I made this video, my Yanqing was already on level 60 with max up traces on this ascension level, and he became one of Honkai Star Rail's best Ice DPS. With the game just released less than a month ago, then there's still limited relics and light cones that we can explore in order to make Yanqing works. The game will provide you with the Musketeer's relics as well as when you open the treasure chest.
This can go towards my allowance.
Actually, this is a nice starting relic for Yanqing because of the 4-stat bonus that provides 10% damage bonus. After you unlock Cave of Corrosion, then you might want to change his relic set to the Hunter relic set. If we compare both of these two relics, there doesn't seem to be that much difference in terms of number between 12% attack increase and 10% ice damage bonus, just difference in the type of bonus damage provided. Other things to consider is the fact that on the 4-set bonus of the Hunter relics, the 25% crit damage bonus is only available once we use our ultimate, meaning that we can't rely on this relic set to boost Yanqing ultimate damage to one-shot on his first turn. I'd love to provide a side-to-side damage comparison on both of these two artifacts, but considering resources are super scarce in this game and how invested I am on the Hunter set, then I'm sorry everyone, but please enjoy the show with this relic set. Light cones on the other hand are more varied compared to the relics and a good talking point on this part of the video. Out of 68 light cones available in the current version, 11 of them belong to the Han. Except for the 3 stars, each of these artifacts seems to work well with Yanqing kit. I personally have used the River Flows in Spring and Cruising in the Stellar Sea for my Yanqing. If we take a look at the River Flows in Spring, this light cone seems to be a universal pull for the Han unit.
No.
As it provides speed bonus and increased damage by 12%. When I use this light cone on Yanqing, the speed bonus doesn't seem to contribute that much to the overall speed because he is already a fast unit to begin with. To test both of these light cones, I bring him to clear some game contents like the Simulated Universe, Echoes of War, as well as some exploration content to see whether or not there's a significant damage output in between the 4-star and 5-star one. To be fully honest with you guys, testing light cones or units in the simulated universe is a challenging thing to do as we'll get buffs as we proceed deeper to the stage. To make the damage testing fully transparent, I'll put the buffs that my units have as a consideration on the damage output. Unconsciously, most players will have the mindset that 5-star light cones will have the better everything for unit. I myself thought the same way as well until I tried to compare both River Flows in Spring and the Cruising in the Stellar Sea in the simulated universe. When I watched the recording of my Yanqing with the River Flows in Spring, everything looks normal. The damage is there and I was progressing smoothly. But it all changed when I watched the recording of the Cruising in the Stellar Sea run. I've summarized the damage output of the same enemies type in a side-to-side comparison for you to easier understand the difference. I think the biggest factor that players have to consider when using Cruising in the Stellar Sea is that the 12% attack bonus is only applicable after a unit defeats an enemy. This information means that there needs to be another enemy with the same weakness in order for these light cones to make Yanqing into one-shot monster, as defeating enemies without weakness break is something difficult to do, especially during the elite or boss fight. Then the only workaround for you in case you really want to make it work is to let your Yanqing to get the last hit of an enemy in order for him to get that 20% attack bonus and deal tons of damage to the enemy. This is pale in comparison with the Reverse Flows in Spring because the 12% damage increase provided by these light cones is directly triggered without any enemy defeating mechanic. Despite the difference, both of these light cones provide good options for players as they need to think which one is the best depending on their situation and and team composition. For team composition, in my opinion, there's two ways to play Yanqing and how to get the most out of his kit. You can play him in the freeze team composition,
Not gonna happen!
which is something harder to pull in normal cases, and the second one is to play him with the one of the best buffer right now, Qingyan. While it seems to be a good one to play with Yanqing, playing him in the freeze team composition in an exploration fight is something challenging to do, especially if you don't have a high effect rate on one of your team. The situation is a bit different if you are in a simulated universe. With blessings to choose from, try to get the one that can apply freeze to all enemies at the start of the battle and you'll definitely enjoy the world. Pairing Yanqing with Qingyan on the other hand is the most suitable and controllable team composition right now, as they don't rely on random blessings like in the simulated universe, but more of their own skill and damage. With my Qingyan on Ascension 4 and all traces level 4, using her skill and ultimate during fight allows my Yanqing to deal easy 12k damage on enemies with Ice Elemental weakness.
What the fuck?
Later that same evening.
Practice is over. Swords descend.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Wonders to raise your spirit. Minus one. How many can you block? Strike with heart. Time to twirl. Practice is over. Swords descend. Time to twirl.
The way I achieve this is by using Carve the Moon with the Cloud on Qingyan. Aside from her level 4 skill and ultimate that provides attack increase up to 18% of her attack, as well as increase a unit's damage by 32% for 2 turns, using the slide cones will provide the following bonuses on the entire team: 10% attack increase, 12% crit damage increase, and 6% energy regeneration. The ideal go-to rotation will be Qingyan open the fight with her skill first on Yanqing and let him take down one enemy in order for him to trigger the cruising in the Stellar Sea attack bonus. Once Yanqing take down the enemy and has his Soul Steel Sync active, then enjoy the big damage. If you really want to see bigger number, like really big one, there's one team composition that you might want to check out, but with its own risk, and that's to bring Pila into the team. With her ultimate decrease the enemy defense by 33%, and considering the damage potential from the previous team composition, then you'll more than likely to know the drill.
Practice is over. Swords descend. We have the upper hand.
To me, Yanqing is the best Ice DPS the game currently have. This conclusion comes from how easy and straightforward his entire kit is. You build your relics right with attack, crit rate, and crit damage, and based on my experience, will be enough for you to make him work. As most of the enemies in the current patch are weak to ice damage, then having a strong Ice DPS like Yanqing is definitely a good investment on your gameplay. In most of the game's contents, he's a good DPS contender even when there are no enemies that are weak to ice type. In the case where you really want to make one-shot Yanqing works, he needs help to do this, and you might want to build your other team composition like Qingyan, which translates to additional resources for you to build her. Well, what do you guys think? Do you think that Yanqing is one of the best Ice DPS the game currently has, and do you agree with him played as a one-shooter, or do you prefer his general damage build? Comment below and let's discuss!